Sally and I are in the South Pole, 2011, and we're there, and there's a big $500 million scientific station there that's mostly funded by the U.S. government. And the scientists came over and gave us presentations, and they had drilled 5,000 or 6,000 or 7,000 cores in the South Pole. And I mean, he's going through these cores, and then he says, in 55,000 years ago, it was 1.96 degrees warmer Celsius than today. And stop. Let's go back to that. How do you know that? And then all these MIT, Caltech, all these guys, oh, well, because of this, E equals bullshit. We know for absolutely within a millionth of a percent, it was warmer. We all know it's cyclical.
Yeah, we know it's cyclical.
Okay, and then what about global warming? Everybody laughs all at the same time. It's a load of shit. I mean, we could have predicted this global warming 100 years before, but nobody did because nobody figured out a way to make any money out of it.
Sally's farm uses electricity from a coal-fired power plant. Her farmer drives a diesel pickup, and her feed comes from a factory that consumes its own electricity and fuel. Now, meet Colin. Colin was raised on a solar-powered farm, eating locally sourced feed. Today, raising Colin is more expensive than raising Sally, because carbon-free energy is currently more expensive than fossil fuels.
Atmosphere over the last 800,000 years, and you see that these values are going up and down in different phases. You see on the blue lines here are indicating ice ages, and the orange lines here are indicating periods between ice ages or periods where it's much warmer. But you also see that over the last 800,000 years, the value was always below 300 parts per million, and suddenly, since the last century, it goes up very steep towards 400 parts per million.
Having never gone above 300 parts per million, here is where CO2 is now. Way above where it's ever been as far back as this record will measure. Now, if you'll bear with me, I want to really emphasize this point. The crew here has tried to teach me how to use this contraption here.
Hey, kids!
If I don't kill myself, I'll... It's already right here. Look how far above the natural cycle this is, and we've done that.
What would be the appropriate level of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere if it's a pollutant? A lot of people would tell you it should be 0, because if it's a pollutant, you should get rid of it, eliminate it from the atmosphere, and clean up the planet and make it green, right? If you believe that, you're about to be shocked by the scientific reality I'm going to show you.
Throughout Earth's history, carbon has cycled naturally between the ocean, the biosphere, and the atmosphere.
Photosynthesis is using light to put things together. Plants use this process to make their food with the help of sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide. Did you know that plants breathe just like us? You didn't? Well, now you do.
The climate change alarmists are not just scientifically wrong and often scientifically illiterate. They are insane. If they get their way, they will murder all life on our planet except microbial life, which can survive without CO2. Change alarmists ridiculously claim that CO2 is right now at the highest it's ever been. They try to tell you it's rising dangerously and the planet is going to overheat. And yet, if you look at the history of CO2 levels versus average global temperature, you'll find that there is no correlation between high CO2 levels and high average global temperatures. In fact, when CO2 levels were over 15 times higher in Earth's history, the temperature wasn't 15 times higher.
And we've done that. But ladies and gentlemen, in the next 50 years, really in less than 50 years, it's going to continue to go up. When some of these children who are here are my age, here's what it's going to be in less than 50 years. You've heard of off the charts.
What would a world look like with higher CO2 levels than we have today? Given the fact that plants are starving for CO2, it barely exists in the environment. It's very low right now at 410 parts per million. If we doubled it to, let's say, 820 parts per million, what would the planet actually look like? Here are some pictures that show you. It would be more lush, more green. Rainforests would flourish. Areas that are currently deserts could grow forests.
A total of 4,038 people have been evacuated due to the floods, it added in the statement cited by the official SPA news agency. According to the statement, some 2,517 people have been rescued, while 2,536 others have been sheltered.
Finally, every time you exhale, you are exhaling carbon dioxide. Every organic molecule in your body is made of carbon. Your hormones, progesterone, for example, are made of carbon. When you eat fruits and vegetables, the nutrients in those fruits and vegetables are made of carbon. Vitamin C, for example, is made of carbon. Cannabidiol in your hemp extract is made of carbon. In that case, 21 carbons per CBD molecule. A high carbon dioxide planet is a green planet, and a low carbon dioxide planet is a dead planet. It's time for you to recalibrate what you think you know about carbon dioxide, because everything you've been told by the status quo is not just wrong, but dangerous and even deadly for the future of life on our planet.